The Seattle music scene is overflowing with great bands, artists, and personalities. It is one man's mission to pull them away from their important work to put them on display for your entertainment. That place is the Ultra Naz Podcast. And now, he never has any money, but at least he can't dance. At all. He puts the heat in Seattle, your chubby yet sexually attractive host, Terrence Leroy Jenkins. Now let's start the show.
You said you grew up in Lakewood, and we don't mean like Lakewood, Tacoma. No. There's a place outside of Stanwood that we call Warm Beach.
Yeah, it's kind of Smoky Point exit there.
It is. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like the long way around to Arlington. And it's where a lot of the bonfire parties happened when I was a kid. There's a rivers out there where we would all just sleep there after we get wasted.
Bonfire party tonight.
Really? Nice. Yeah, no, and there's nothing but farmland out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just farm.
Well, not so much anymore, but definitely when I was a kid growing up there, it was a lot more farmland, but people are building tons of apartments and
in Lakewood.
Off the Smoky Point exit.
Oh, wait, I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, because I started to decide that, you know, I wanted to go fishing. I wanted to start fishing again a couple years ago, and I hadn't done it in a long time. And when I was a kid, we used to go to Gisborne Park, which is Twin Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's those two lakes there. And before, when I was a kid, man, all that stuff was woods. So where the Best Buy and the Costco and fucking all that crap was...
It was a plant farm and then like a trailer park and that.
Right. So like when you went fishing out there, I mean, literally it was like woods behind you.
Yep.
And that was, I had these really fond memories of going there when I was a kid, and I went back with my son, and there's literally like a low income housing development that's on the lake. So if you're fishing, you can look across the lake and there's somebody with like fucking curlers in their hair smoking a menthol on their porch, you know, with like fucking, you know what I mean? You're just like, what in the fuck happened?
Yeah, so we live past the tracks up by the high school there, kind of now. We're looking at moving to Stanwood, but yeah, that place is blowing up, man. They're building so much shit out there. It's just crazy. The apartment complexes that are going in there, and those are jacked up prices too. It's just nuts. I don't even understand.
Yeah, because there's some like townhouses back in there, and they're even wanting like $650,000 for a fucking place in like Smoky Point.
Yeah,
like what in the fuck are you talking about? Like this place is not desirable in terms of like accessibility to a place you could work, because you're gonna have to go to fucking Seattle or something most of the time, at least. In my experience, or Everett.
Money to fucking live there, yeah.
Well, I noticed like lately too, like if you're going from, so I work in Everett and I live in Everett, and that's like most of the reason why I'm not gonna try to move, because in terms of like my happiness and not having, because I used to work in Seattle for a company I won't name, but I ended up having to work like kind of job to job to job to job. So I was like a service technician in a way.
Gotcha.
So I would go and I'd bring my tools in a van, and I would go
drive around
from one place to the next, and I would do that from like 7 o'clock in the morning until like 6 o'clock at night. And they would stop dispatching out jobs, and then I would have to start heading home from wherever it is I ended up. And I would end up in like Columbia City and South Seattle, like White Center, or I would end up close to Auburn.
In the traffic.
Oh my God, dude. Like we used to be able to smoke in the vans too, and I used to smoke cigarettes. And so I don't know why, but that made it okay. I'd be like, fuck it. I have this old piece of shit van. I know exactly, like, fuck this. Smoking. I would grab a cheeseburger on the way home, because it's going to be like 2.5 fucking hours.
Oh, yeah. Man.
So like I spent like 4 hours a day driving and not getting paid, essentially, because the day would be over. Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't pay for the gas, and they'd always bring that up, like at the company, and they'd be like, well, you don't pay for the insurance or the gas on this vehicle. And I'd be like, yeah, but all that time, you know, like...
Yeah, fucking my time is worth money, dude.
I'd get home at like 7:30 or 8, and then it was time to go to bed, and then I would get back up, and that had to stop. Like, I was like, fuck, at some point I was like, fuck that. So I got a job here in Everett doing the same stuff.
And you live pretty close.
Right. So I mean, I drive like maybe a little under 10 minutes and I'm at work. And then if I want to come home for lunch, I just come home for lunch and let the dog out so I can go take a crap or whatever. And then I go back to work. But, you know, there is places for cheaper but it's not really that much cheaper.
Right.
Like I said, like even my girlfriend's parents live out in Jordan River Trails, which is way out there, man.
That is a trek.
It is. Like,
we
you get
saw
to
a few houses
Arlington.
out there. We're like,
Dude, still, they want 600,000.
yeah,
You're like out in Jordan River Trails.
yeah.
This is, I can't believe what's happening. And that, you know, it's funny that already, like, just thinking about it relates to our situation with there's going to be nowhere left to play fucking music.
Yeah.
Because that's just those go hand in hand. Commercial businesses are getting out of control. Like, the commercial business that I'm at, that building used to be like $8,000 a month, and it's a fucking huge building. So I mean, $8,000 a month, and whatever you're bringing in revenue, you know, you're gonna whatever. It's got a nice big lot, but it's right next to a homeless camp on both sides of it. So they come and they harass us and they cut our fence open, and we're not allowed to electrify the
steal
fence.
shit.
We're not allowed to put barbed wire over the fence. Because if they get hurt trying to steal our stuff, they could sue us.
Yeah.
Right. So it's so fucking weird.
That's stupid as
So
hell.
they came in and cut all our catalytic converters off all of our trucks. And
Oh, my
for
God.
for the metal that was in them or something. And then they stole a bunch of our stuff.
I'm in those things.
Right. So it's really like not a desirable place. But it's went from 8,000 to like 16,000. And now it's like, I don't even know if they can afford to like stay there for much longer. And now we don't know what's going to happen. Like, we're going to move into like a fucking tiny room. I have a bunch of engineers and people, and
We crammed in there.
dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is like, again, next to a couple of homeless camps, and you can literally see the homeless people, like, they look dead. They're just hanging out next to those places.
Man.
We're lucky it's not a place where customers come in. It's definitely not. You know, it's just a place for people to go and do office work and park our big trucks and get material and stuff. But so, I mean, if it was a place where people had to come in and like there was a service center, that'd be fucking... Like, there's no way you could charge... You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. So I kind
Oh,
of...
God. This place is sketchy.
But yeah, so I don't know how much it costs to own a bar in Everett. It's got to be out of control.
I'll have to ask Tony.
Well, I know that place across the street from him was like the Whammy Bar and
It's
all
changed
kinds of
those
other
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't keep anything open over there. And I mean, they seem to have customers.
It's got to be expensive. And then you get liquor board on your ass and shit all the time. And
Right, and then how do you keep people in? You bring in music.
Right.
You bring in something. You know what I mean? Something to spice it up. But God, man, it's hard because they can't pay like they used to. Nobody can. Oh, I have a bunch of cats. they're going to be fucking coming around. You stay away from the dog. So you grew up in Lakewood.
Yeah.
Um,
Stanwood, Lakewood.
Stanwood. Well, yeah, so you went to Lakewood High School
whole
instead
area.
of Stanwood High School, though.
Yeah.
So who and what was like kind of when did you start playing music? What instrument did you first start playing? You know?
Okay, so I got a guitar when I was about, I don't know, 12 or 13 for Christmas. I wanted a drum set, actually.
And what sparked that? You tell your parents you wanted a drum set, or but they
Yeah.
just noticed that you like tapping on stuff, or
I always liked music, and then, I got middle school age, and I was like, I want a drum set. I want to play drums. And they got me a guitar because they didn't want to listen to me play drums. And so I figured it out, and been playing ever since. I started Woodshed out of high school, so I kind of got a late start on it. I didn't start it in school, but
started off on drums. So then when did you go to guitar?
no, I never played drums.
Oh, you never did? Oh, okay.
I wanted to.
Oh.
I never got a set. Never figured it out. I can play some hand drums, but I get behind a kid. I'm like, man, I don't.
Yeah, I
like
assume that if I
simple
leave
stuff,
my
but-
drum set somewhere, that the vocalist or somebody's gonna come play on it at some point. You know, I just always leave some sticks, so
Yeah.
at least they're gonna play with drumsticks. And
I try to figure it out once in a while, but I mean, I play guitar and I can play bass, so that's usually what I go to.
yeah, I don't know. I started playing guitar when I was like 4. And I, because I don't know if I would really consider that like formally playing the guitar. I dinked around on it,
Yeah.
because I was a little kid, and
Think around until you figure it
I
out.
figured out a bar chord or a perfect fifth, like most people do.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of strummed on that shit as much as I could. I'd never even learned a grandpa chord until I was probably like 15. I I just could play Living After Midnight. Anything I could figure out with perfect fifths, kind of like bar chords,
Right.
or like a major 7 chord. I didn't even know that's what I was doing, but I was just kind of copying people off MTV.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to tune the damn thing when I got it.
I kind of didn't either,
Kind of tuned it to where it sounded decent and went after it.
Yeah, there was a song on 2112 where he's like, it sounded like he was tuning his guitar, and I always like tuned my E string to that song.
Oh yeah,
And I would kind of do that, and then there was a couple other songs I knew were an open E, and I would like play that, and then I would stop my tape, and then I would like tune the first string to it, and then I would try really hard to keep it there so I could play along with the song without it sounding all wavy, and things were just different, man. I don't know. There wasn't a video to pull up that said how to tune a guitar.
listening to cassette tapes and shit. Yeah.
Right, man. It's super weird. And I think back on that, I don't know if that was better or if it was worse. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think there's almost too much at your fingertips now.
Yeah, it's almost kind of defeating sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, man, there's so much shit going on. Let me stare into the doom square.
Right, dude, and the fucking the death rectangle. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because this gets brought up on the podcast quite a bit, and I think that like I have noticed that even with my own son and people that are younger, they're drawn to electric instruments, and I wouldn't even call them instruments, but like programming tools.
Right.
Because, the sound is already good. Like whoever originally got that sample came from is a really nicely hit snare drum.
Yeah.
And a really nicely hit cymbal. And they even have guitar replication now that is just makes me angry inside.
No guitar.
Exactly, right? So it's like, those are someone had to play that, and eventually I don't know what would happen if we don't have people to continue to make music like that. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but there's still people who play guitar. However, I noticed that the younger generation, not only there's a huge emphasis on being impressive speed wise and not being impressive in a creative sense.
Right.
And I know we've all got caught up on that.
Fucking
well,
cool.
You should be enjoying the ride.
Right.
It's fun to get better at playing music.
Definitely.
I've always found that when I am, I don't, I guess I could reveal more. I've always had some like depression problems, and I've always had anxiety problems. And from the time I was a little kid, even though I didn't know that was what was wrong, I knew that there was something off. And I was really lucky to have had a guitar, honestly, or something to emote on, if at all.
Oh, man.
And I wasn't very good at what I did, but there was something about being able to play the sad music that was coming out of me that sort of, wouldn't say it made it go away, but it made it like bearable. And as long as I knew I could go home and do that, everything was okay.
Yeah, man. I'm in the same boat. That's a big deal. Especially when I started playing, I had just moved out to Stanwood. I had no friends out there because I went to Lakewood. So I just sat in my room and played guitar and figured it out. And I was up real late last night. I was playing guitar and I was like, damn, if the old me could see me play guitar now, he'd be like, holy shit.
You'd be excited,
yeah, right? But I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not good enough,
Right. And
second guessing myself.
You sing as well.
Yeah.
That's something that's really tough for me to wrap my head around sometimes. It's
super hard, especially if you have like an idea, it's kind of a technical riff or something, and then oh fuck, how do I sing over this? How do I do both of these? And you just fucking try until you get it. It's like getting over a wall,
Yeah, no, I can, like I've always said, like I can sing if I write the part. I remember trying some of the first songs, like I had it in my head that, I was going to be like Dave Mustaine because I didn't think I had a really good voice, but he was inspiring to me because of the fact that, not only had very like publicly been thrown out of the band that he started with the other guys, but he had also came over that and then started another band that was like equally as famous,
right?
And
kicks ass.
He wasn't a very good singer, but he just did it, and and he made it work, dude. And he Megadeth sounds like Megadeth because of Dave's fucking voice. Right. And so I was like, that's inspiring to me. I don't know if my voice is better or worse than Dave Mustaine's, but I remember trying to sing along after I had learned, I think it was Hangar 18. I was like, all right, I'm just going to play these, at least the opening stuff, because that seemed like the easiest one on there. It was like, like variations of a D chord all the way up until, it stops. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to learn any of this, that could be one. And the vocals kind of follow the next part.
It's amazing how hard shit can be.
I couldn't fucking do it. I sat there forever. It was way harder than learning the guitar. It was way harder than learning the drums. And this takes a shitload of coordination. But it was, I don't know what it's like. My mind couldn't get over the fact that I was strumming a guitar or picking it. And if I concentrated on the vocals, now this just suffered hard. I would suffer, the palm mutes would get sloppy and my hands would make buzzing noises on some of the strings. Or if I concentrated on the guitar, then I would be off with my vocals. And how did you come about all that? You know what I mean?
I guess I started off with easier songs. I was a pretty big Nirvana fan. I mean, I still am, but I learned the first song I ever learned how to play and sing. It was hard as hell for me. Was Polly, because it was fairly easier song, and so I just kind of started there. But yeah, man, that is an obstacle to get over. Especially there's a lot of songs that I would love to do now, cover, but then I play the riff or something, fuck, how is he singing and doing this or something, with more technical band or something. But
I don't know. I always felt like Kurt had a really good grasp on what was his personal limits of what he could achieve.
Right.
I think that's really important for people to know that about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What is it I'm going to be able to do the best?
Right.
Not trying to overshoot that all the fucking time.
Right.
Oh, I'm here, I should be here. And that's what I was just saying. You do think that, but you got to know how to keep yourself in check, because you start playing something you can't play and you sound like shit.
Right. I want to do this, but this is what I can do. I'm gonna make this work. And
like your band name, then you need to go woodshed it.
Yeah, right.
While no one's looking, until you can come out of the woodshed with something that's fucking good. It's the oldest thing ever. It's not a thing anymore, Hunter. It's not the way kids think anymore. It's I swear, because I know it, because I'm around them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you are too. You're around these people who are, and in the death metal scene, it's rampant. It is they are really concerned about getting the technique that is going to make them the fastest, not having the best sounding drums.
Right.
They don't even really, all these,
Oh, yeah.
I get in trouble all the time when I say this kind of stuff, but the toms, just learn how to fucking get, and you could tune your tom perfect, but then if you hit it and you're hitting it in a way that doesn't complement that sound, it's not going to sound good through a microphone or in a room. So you need to learn that stuff. Yeah. That's the stuff you need to learn first. Then, once you get that, then you need to combine that with this technique that's going to make you fast, and they need to come up together.
Yeah.
That way, now you have the nice sounding tom that is fast, the nice sounding snare that is also fast and can be, both ways. So being well-rounded is really important to me, and also knowing your limitations at the time that you're going to be presenting your product to people. You're going to play songs and music for people. Well, wouldn't you want it to be the best that they could hear at that point?
Yes.
You're going to get better as time goes on. Don't worry about it. You're not going to fucking die tomorrow, hopefully. But that's what I'm saying, we're just going to assume that you're going to have time to grow and be better as a musician. And if anything, why would you want for things to start off here and then go like this? Show them what you got now, and then they can follow you along your journey as you get better and more creative and better at your instrument. Right. That's what everyone wants to see.
You're always going to push yourself. You're going to be, oh yeah, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do this. But I don't know. I always think what's best for the song that I'm writing.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking overdo it here or throw a bunch of bullshit right here, because it doesn't make sense. You got to listen to everything and make sure it's a package deal. Really, I brain farted. Sorry.
I'm with you, man. I think a lot of what I notice about rock music is that people want to, I don't know, if everyone is like that fucking, they think they're going to be like that Bad Company song where the dude fucking writes the song and he goes to the top of the charts.
Which we all have that dream a little bit.
Hey, sure. Everyone fantasizes about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that I have to root things in reality.
Yeah.
And not to diminish myself or say that it's not possible, that I'm not good at what I do.
Right.
There is plenty of people out there that are fucking amazing musicians, amazing vocalists. And for example, it was a long time ago. The first thing that pops into my head is that they still do it, but it's the drum off. Guitar Center's drum off. I think there's also the guitar off or Carmageddon or whatever, right? And local people from around that local area, they all go to Guitar Center and they show off their skills, and a panel of local judges rates their skill level and creativity, and they win the contest, and then they go through rounds until they get to a national contest. So this is
a funny story about that one.
But yeah, so I've done it quite a few times. I won those contests when I was younger, and I was really, really fucked up when I didn't get to advance a few of those times. And I don't know, really, I didn't have someone to guide me.
I'm not good enough.
Exactly, but I didn't have someone to guide me and tell me, who cares?
Right.
There's people, almost 90% of the people who win this contest, they just fall into obscurity and no one even knows who they are. Yeah. And there's people who've never won the drum off that are fucking famous or just working as a musician. You know what I mean? So you don't need validation from all these people, or necessarily any kind of psychological validation in any way from those people to continue to grow as a musician or get better.
Exactly.
And that's really what we're trying to do, is just kind of be better than we were before, or just, even as a human, not just a musician, but just try to kind of learn from what you're doing and just evolve.
Not be a piece of shit.
And not get stuck and because we're all pieces of shit sometimes. Everyone does some piece of shit stuff. But we're trying to be better,
right?
And as a musician, of course, hey, I listen back to some of my stuff and it's cringy, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah, some of the early songs and stuff. I'm like, oh man,
I'm like, God, that's stupid. And some of the lyrics that we wrote for a singer, I remember just a few days ago, I was like, oh my, this is bad, just cheesy, and we were totally into it at the time, I don't know. But
going back to the contest thing, I've never been one. I just wanted to be a good songwriter, so I never really saw myself as a great guitar player personally. A lot of people would probably beg to differ, but we went down to Sacramento for Aftershock. A few years ago.
To play?
No.
Oh, to just watch.
Just because Tool was playing, and
of course,
and it was Tool and Primus and Ghost and Meshuggah and all that stuff going on, and it was an awesome show. But my friends told me to enter this 30 Seconds to Shred contest, and I'm fucking drinking and partying all weekend because we drove down there to go to the show. So I entered it. And I am not technical. I don't know a whole lot of theory. I just play. So, entered this thing. Pretty soon, I can get through. I'm playing on the Mark Holcomb, nice PRS.
Yeah,
and
that's a nice guitar.
Made it to the next round.
Really?
Made it to the next round and won the guitar. Not the Mark Holcomb one, but I won the Santana PRS.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty sweet guitar.
That's awesome.
I've never done a shred off and won a guitar before. I was like, fuck yeah.
Wow, dude, that's insane.
Against a bunch of people that were, they're going through their scales and stuff, and I don't know, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going for it.
Well, and that's like I was just saying a second ago, even with and I play guitar too, but drumming is the same way, and there's a lot of people out there that are fucking blazing fast. There's a lot of people out there that can play 1 million notes per minute. And people will always, because they know I'm a drummer, they'll be like, oh, have you seen so-and-so? I'm not going to name any names, right? Because I just don't, anybody is a potential acquaintance or
Right.
And so I'm not gonna like shoot myself in the foot here, but we'll just say a certain person who is very popular can play very fast. I am not a fan. It is so not musical. And
that's the biggest thing, is being musical, man.
yeah, it's not musical at all. And he basically says, I'm the fucking shit. I'm the best motherfucker. And his name is basically, I am the king. So I'm like, fuck this guy. I will never listen to you. No, and I will probably never support what you do because fuck that. I hate that.
People like that, dude.
That fucking drives me nuts. And you know what I mean? Like maybe someday I'll meet this guy and we'll find out that it's a joke and he's a nice guy or something, you know?
Right.
But fuck that. And the people who fucking follow him and they always go, oh, have you heard of this guy? And they fucking shove a YouTube video in my face. I'm like, get that shit out of my fucking face. You know, because I don't have any videos of this person doing anything that's like remotely good in terms of what I feel like a good drummer is. I don't give a fuck if you can muscle out 300 BPM. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean shit to me because it's like I can already play up to like 260, 270, somewhere around there pretty comfortably. So I'm like, wow, this is something I can do. It's one fucking thing. Great. I don't want people to know me as the guy who can play at fucking 270 BPM. Right. I want people to know me as a good fucking musician.
Right. That guy kicks ass on the drums and everything.
He's on this song, and I like this song that he was playing the drums on. That's what I want people to think of me.
Exactly.
So I get really obviously fired up when that shit comes around, but it's because it's really fucking sacred to me. I feel like people are in this and they don't fucking belong here.
Right.
Fuck that, man. And, you know, people always go back to like, you're not the mayor of what's music and what's not. And they're fucking damn right, because I'm not. That's my opinion.
That's true.
And I'm allowed to get fired up about my fucking opinion. It's my opinion, you know? Right. And other people are allowed to disagree with me. I want things to be musical. I want it to be moving. I want it to move me in some way emotionally.
Yeah. You want to feel something when you're fucking playing, or even when you're listening. You want to feel it. That's huge.
And sometimes speed does do that. Like when you get to a part and it hits the right thing, and you put that fucking 300 BPM in the right fucking spot, then hell yeah, that's why you practiced doing that. Is because there's going to be a part where that could be awesome. Mm-hmm. But that shouldn't be the whole fucking song. No. The whole album, the whole thing, you know, that's boring. Right. And then it just comes back to like you were saying, it's just people practicing scales at that point. Yeah. You know, and I remember Steve Vai, and I don't really listen to Steve Vai anymore. Mm-hmm. When I was younger as a guitar player, I thought he was amazing. And I remember watching For the Love of God and being like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And Tender Surrender and those kind of songs. But you know, one profound thing that I always took away from what he has said is that, and I always stuck in my head, was that people aren't going to pay to come and see you practice your fucking instrument. No one's going to fill up the Coliseum to see Joe Blow fucking practice his fucking major and minor scales, you know.
They want to see a fucking jam.
They want to hear music
with a band.
But that's, you know, you learn that stuff because you're trying to create a vehicle that you can use for different applications, you know, so that you have like a wide a base of knowledge that you can just pull out at any fucking time. Oh, he's playing a 1-4-5. Oh, I can do that because we're in G, and this is going to work here and here and here and here. Or he's playing these chords. This is what I should avoid. So on and so forth, you know. Oh, he's going to hit that fucking diminished. I can do that here, you know, and stuff like that. So that's why you do all that, you know, not so that you can just play fucking 16th notes for a million years. Besides, you know, I feel like
where's your creativity in that? You know?
Well, yeah, but then also I feel like the thing that, and this is offensive as fuck for me to say, but if you're so impressed that you just learned some scales, I mean, that's the first step. If you're that impressed that you just learned the basic shit, in my opinion, okay, you know, if you're so impressed with that and you're not even ready to move on and you're so impressed with it, you're going to try to make a whole career out of it, then to me, that's like, fuck, do you even belong here? Like, you're fucking it all up, you know? You know, but then again, it's all based off what people will listen to. So if there's an audience for that, then there's a fucking audience for that, and I'm totally wrong. But I don't know.
I've learned everything. I mean, I'm self-taught, and like I said, not very technical. I don't know a whole lot of theory, stuff like that. I've always gone off sound. That's how I learned how to solo. Is I'd listen to songs or play along with songs on the radio, and just whatever sounded good. So I got it in my head that whatever key that is, here it is. Like. So I should probably learn some more shit. Theory and whatnot.
I would say that it's probably a good idea as a singer, especially. Man, because it just opens up some real big, huge realizations. Light bulbs start going off everywhere. You're like, oh shit, I'm playing this chord. I could use
I could go to here.
Or you'll start listening to music in like a whole new light. Like, I listen and I love the Deftones. I bring it up on almost every episode. But I always compare it because I love the relationship of the choice of notes used vocally in contrast to the chord progressions that are underneath it. A lot of the times are really uniquely chosen. And really not something that a normal singer or a standard kind of singer who was trying to fit into like rock music would choose. And I don't know if that's always worked for them as far as album sales and stuff like that, but it's definitely made them differentiate from what was going on at that time.
Right.
And, some people say that Chino's not a good singer and that, because he isn't classy. He isn't like the classical type of singer.
Right.
He's not going to sing opera,
But what he does is awesome, and it works for their band.
Yeah. It's like a celestial kind of weird thing. It's
not really a competition in that sense. It's like they like to make the music they want to make.
And I feel like that is, it gives me, it moves me emotionally. And then that's exactly what I wanted. And I remember the first couple songs I ever heard by that band, it gave me like energy.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I get fired up about all sorts of shit. Like this new Tool record. A lot of people aren't really too into it, but
you want to talk about that, huh? Well, it's
been growing on me, man.
What do you think about the new Tool record? Because I haven't talked with anybody on this podcast about it, and people have wanted to sort of avoid it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why. I can tell you that I sort of trickled off after Lateralis. And that's not because I didn't like 10,000 Days, but I don't know. It just didn't speak to me.
Yeah, I've always been a huge Tool fan ever since I heard. I was a kid learning how to play guitar. And
what was the first Tool song you ever heard?
I think it was H.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know, that heavy, and then the drum and bass thing, and it's like, fuck yeah, this is the shit. And then I got that album, and that's one of my favorites, Enema.
Yeah. Enema,
however
whatever. With that fucking, it had a hologram. Yeah. I know people, think that your shit's all, racy and shit now. But imagine 1996 and you buy a CD and then you open it up and on the inside there's a hologram of a dude sucking his own dick in a corner. It was like, holy shit.
Or fucking California disappearing in
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but then so I think the first song I ever heard with my dad, it was probably Hammered, drunk. And I remember when I was a kid and he got Opiate. And he was fucking cranking that goddamn album. And I was just a little kid. I was probably like 6 or 7. And, I liked whatever my dad liked, honestly. So I didn't really have an opinion or anything, but I remember being like, yeah, this is really good. My dad's like, yeah, someday, Terry, you're going to be like this drummer, And he's like, yeah, there was just something different about that band. Because what was kind of surrounding them at that time was, first of all, the 80s had just ended. And so there was this huge thing. It was like where the Titanic goes down into the water and then it sucks everything into it. And then everything, like new stuff comes back up. Yeah. So it was like, okay, all these 80s bands gone. And then what came back up was like Nirvana and Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and Seattle was back on the map, after years of whatever was going on there.
Right.
And so then there was this other band, Tool, that was not grunge and was not punk rock.
Not
and was
the typical LA.
They were their own fucking thing.
Glam rock band or nothing.
But in no way was it like viewed as, it got played in rotation with those bands. dude.
Yeah.
I mean, how often you heard in Tool was played right next to Pantera, or it could be played right in line with Nirvana, and even my little kid brain, I kind of always thought that was really a unique position to have in the music industry, because I noticed that, you know, there was like Ricky Rackman did Headbangers Ball.
Oh, yeah.
And so really they just played metal. They'd play Tool in there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think Tool was metal. And then you would hear like other stations that were more indie or something, they would play Tool.
Yeah.
And then so they kind of just, without trying or whatever, ended up being able to go anywhere and appeal to like major amounts of people,
Right.
which is funny because their name is Tool, and Maynard has said in the past that the reason why it was named is because it was supposed to be, I don't know, there's lots of different things I've heard, but that it's a tool to be used by you. You know, he doesn't spoon feed those lyrics.
Right.
You can kind of make those into kind of whatever you want them to be
and that's-
sometimes.
I think what I love about them is there's this kind of mystery around them, but they do everything for the art of it instead of, I mean, there's no bullshit around it. I feel like fuck, they just released a 10.5-minute song this last summer, and it was played on the fucking radio, and they're like, here's our new single.
You know, at first glance, it's like, oh, here come the weird Danny Carey bongos, and
Yeah.
here we go.
It grows on you though.
But you know, I mean, when you listen to it, you're like, you know, I mean, I guess it's just been so long since I've heard a new Tool song,
Right.
And their absence is kind of left a void in a way that, like, they're still kind of from the school where, and then we were just talking about 2112. That was supposed to be like, you know, they thought that was the end for them. You know, if you ever watched any Rush documentaries or read any of the books or anything like that.
They got weird after that.
Right, so they made some albums that the record industry wanted them to make, you know, and they were very resistant to it, and they weren't doing very well, and they were ready to fizzle out, but they were like gonna go down with the ship. They were like, fuck it, we have a record deal, we're gonna do whatever we want, and their manager was fucking freaking out, and they brought them 2112. You know, and they showed that to the record label. The record label was like, "This is terrible. Where is the hit? Where is one hit? Where is anything on here? Like, what are we gonna?"
Thing, dude.
They're like, "It's just you're supposed to play it, and it just goes on for fucking 30 minutes." You know what I mean? And so
With that,
it worked.
That Temple's a Syrinx song.
Oh, every song. What are you talking about, dude? The whole thing, dude.
Thing's great.
We are the priests of the temples.
Yeah.
Of Sirius. Yeah.
So fucking good.
No, but that's what I'm like. I compare that to Tool because it seems like they're still from the school of like, if we are feeling something from it and we're bringing ourselves on this journey, people are going to come along with us.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody, but we'll connect with somebody.
Here it is.
And that's all they're trying to do is connect with people. They're not trying to get rich and famous or, like we were just saying, like start for the fucking wrong reasons or, you know, be divisive with your art, you know, in a way that like you're trying to get something or use it as a platform to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make a thing that they feel is cool. And if they feel like it's cool, other people are going to think it's cool too. And that's how it all starts.
Right.
So that kind of genuinity doesn't exist as much anymore. And it's nice to hear. I heard that song, and at first I was like, this kind of sounds boring, you know.
Right.
But then I listened to it some more, and I'm like, you know what? This is really a special thing, you know, for this band to still be around, for them to still be
they're all in their 50s, dude.
And I mean, shit, if you played Opiate and then you play this, I mean, they still have the same energy going on,
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, I don't know. I hear something from a bunch of their records on this because it's Tool. You know, they're gonna sound like Tool.
Yeah,
And people are making a big deal about, oh, it sounds like this. I'm like, what do you expect? They're gonna sound like them.
right.
Like, what do you want?
I don't know.
I hear some, you know, they go back to Undertow a little bit and they just kind of dance around. It's pretty cool. I've been digging it.
Yeah, it's a great album, and I actually like it better than 10,000 Days.
Oh yeah,
I thought 10,000 Days was like whatever the hit was. It's that one, the pot.
the pot. Yeah.
Yeah. So that song to me is my least favorite song on the whole album, on 10,000 Days. And then I thought it was kind of weird. The vocals are so far back in it, and it's the engineer in me that like starts to go like, why is this way, and why is this way?
Oh yeah, they kind of do this. He's part of the band rather than out front kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not like that on Fear Inoculum, and it's not like that on the other albums. He's way out in front. Like, listen to Sober, like that. Those vocals are right next to the snare drum or a little above them or something like that. As they should be. It's fucking. Yeah. And then on top of that, you know,
rock and roll, man.
It is rock and roll. It's supposed to have vocals in the face, you know, and it's. I thought it was funny that in my mind I thought, is he just like embarrassed like all the rest of us? You know, is Maynard Keenan a vulnerable person who is, you know, ashamed of his own creations, just like all the rest of us? You know,
why wouldn't he be?
Right. I think that's amazing.
He's a human.
Yeah, we're
all like that. You know, I feel vulnerable when I write something new and I'm trying to show it to the other guys in the band. Like, oh fuck, is this any good? You know, like, are these lyrics any good? And like, I don't know, you know, and then you get your affirmation from them and sweet, yeah, all right, cool, everybody thinks it sounds good. That's good. I was second guessing the shit out of myself.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, a lot of people say that to me before they come on this show, before they come on my podcast, my little podcast that gets a few hundred listens.
Hell, I was a little nervous to be on here.
I know you were. I know everyone is. They avoid it. You know, I can tell when there's a little avoidance to it, that, you know, I can tell that, okay, this person's nervous. How can I make them feel more comfortable? But, you know, it's exposing a part of you that, you know, you might only expose to a few people in your life. And then you put on a totally different face for the rest of the world. Because, you know, we're afraid that people will think that the really weird part of us, like, people aren't going to like it.
Right.
Even though that's genuinely who you are.
Right.
You're afraid that if you showed someone that they would be like, man, fuck this guy. So you're always trying to put on this fake thing. To some extent, everyone does that, you know. And that's why, you know, there's that old, like, you know, no, nothing's more truer than the man behind the mask. You know, I mean, when someone can put like a face on that no one can see, they can be the person that they really are underneath. And I think like a lot on the internet, you know, we see that this day and age, because people can really get on a mountaintop and fucking say the worst shit on earth. Right. You know, with really no real repercussions. You know, in the past, when you've got your shit kicked in for fucking saying some of the stuff that people say, you know,
people need to shut up.
Oh shit. Like with the Tool album, it's like you got these people out there that are just like, you know, they're total pieces of shit that know nothing about music, but they're out there just being trolls.
Yeah,
they're just doing it so they
sucks. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, if you say Tool sucks, you're gonna get. They know that if they say something like that,
you're gonna get a spark out of a bunch of people.
Right, and like I think it's a lot of it. You don't really think the album sucks. They don't really think anything's bad. Right, they just want to, but you know, get a bunch of comments and fucking shit on their page. Or again, the divisiveness of humans is it's weird. It's like,
oh, you see it all day long on the little doom square.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
what are you fucking arguing about? What?
And you know, kind of now that we're talking about that, do you think it's unique of you and I that we grew up in like a small place? Do you feel like if you would have grown up in the city and you wouldn't have known everyone that was right around you? Because when I grew up in Stanwood, I knew everybody.
Right.
And anything you did, everyone would know about it. It just kind of kept you honest in a way that you wouldn't have to be if you lived in Seattle when you were a kid. You'd be kind of on your own, even though you were around everybody. You'd have that tunnel vision that I noticed when people would come. When I was a kid, I'd notice when people come to visit, you know, that lived in the city, they had this thing where they didn't really look at anybody, make eye contact, or, you know, they'd have like that tunnel vision that that you get when you don't know anybody who's around you, and they have the same thing. So you're kind of just on your own. This is before phones. People were like that. But you grow up in a little place like us, you're always looking at, hey, how's it going, Steve? Blah, 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 blah. And you hold
better as I've gotten older about that. I've always been kind of the one to look away, and I'm weird.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, it's totally normal.
I've always been a really shy person, so I'm as I've gotten older, I've broken out of that a little bit. But
well, yeah, I mean, you're a lead singer in a rock band.
Yeah, that was really hard. That stage fright the first few times, man. woo.
Right, and I've heard you belting on stage, dude, and playing like a motherfucker, and it just, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like you're nervous at all.
Not so much anymore, but definitely when I started, it was like,
You don't ever get nervous on the first song?
oh, I get nervous. I get nervous before shows, definitely.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I do anymore.
Not all of them, especially if I got a couple beers in me.
Right.
But
I stopped drinking too, and I remember the first it was like the first like 4 or 5 months of playing shows without drinking was like a fucking whole other world. Like without being able to have those 2-3 beers, before I got on stage, man, the first time I had like dry mouth, like as I fucking smoked a bunch of weed.
Oh,
I was gripping my sticks really hard. I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. My heart is pounding. And we start the song and it starts going well, and that song gets over, and then everything kind of just like okay, and everything's okay after that. But getting over that
takes you a couple to warm up, and then you're like, fuck it, I'm in it.
Well, the funny thing is, if you're playing in the scene I am, you get 25 minutes, 4 or 5 songs, 5 songs maybe, because we're not going to headline. It's going to be with some national act, and you're going to be the opener or the second or third band, and so you're going to get that 30-minute slot. So by the time you get halfway done, you're finally warmed up, and then it's time to get off the stage.
Yeah, I know.
But it's funny, man. I don't know.
Dealt with that quite a bit too.
So speaking of getting nervous, speaking of getting nervous, you guys got you guys played at
White River.
Well, it was. So there was Not Fest, but then they called it Pain in the Grass, even though it was Not Fest. And then there was 2 other days of Pain in the Grass.
Right. So we played the last day.
So the last day, who were the other bands? There was.
So we had. There's a shitload of them, but the 3 main ones were Corrosion of Conformity, Marilyn Manson, and Rob Zombie.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
it's amazing.
Holy shit.
So tell me about that. So how did you get the gig in the first place? Because, I mean, that's pretty good fucking slot for a band from Lakewood.
Right, yeah. So we've been grinding it out for a while. Jake and Nathan have been in the band for 5, almost 6 years. I've been doing Woodshed for 10. Almost 11 now, damn. And we've been grinding it out, playing all the shows that we can, playing with everybody that we can, just doing our thing, man. Just going up and not giving a shit about the world and playing our music. And Ryan Castle, he actually called Jake at work and was like, "Hey, I got a 30-minute slot for you guys at Pain in the Grass on Saturday."
Wait, so just Ryan Castle out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, how did that happen though?
I don't know.
No idea.
We played Red Fest the year
before. You guys
before.
have a manager or something?
Nope.
So how do they know you?
We just we're friends with like Taryn.
Oh, okay.
And
I went to high school with Taryn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the same like English class with Mr. Wallenberg, and we were in band class with Mr. Mao.
Right on.
Yeah, she played saxophone. I played like percussion and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, we're friends with Taryn. We're friends with Matt Koch and a couple of other people, and they were just pushing for us.
Nice.
To put us on something cool.
The homies.
Yeah, and so yeah, we got the call, and we're like, "Fuck yes!" And man, talk about.
So how was that? I've never played on that big of a stage before, ever.
Dude, it's wild, especially
White River. That's a fucking huge stage.
It's huge, and we're a 3-piece. So like, I'm looking over while we're playing. I'm just like, holy shit. My guys are so far away from me. Like, this is nuts.
Do you guys ever use in-ear monitors or anything like that? You're just using the wedges.
No, we're just using.
So you're just wedges on there.
Yeah.
Did you ever walk away from the wedges and everything disappear, or?
No, not too bad.
There was a lot of onstage volume.
Lots of onstage volume.
Kitty.
We actually, it's kind of funny. We because they put all your stuff on rollers and they just roll your shit out there.
Oh, so
they
on carts.
get you on and off the stage quick. And we've never done anything like that. We're always playing the fucking high dive.
You load it in yourself, yeah.
Yeah, loading in ourselves, and so that was kind of a culture shock for us. But then they're like, "Okay, you're gonna go up there and line check." I'm like, "Cool, all right." So we go up, and they totally fucking juked us out. It's pretty funny. They had one of the radio DJs come out and do like a full fucking announce for us here's these guys all the way from Arlington. Here's Woodshed. And we're like, fuck, do we just go? Do we just go for it? So we just start into our first song, and everything sounds like shit. It's feeding back, like the guitar's feeding back. I'm like, fuck, this isn't how this is gonna go, is it? Pretty soon, the stage manager comes over. And like, fuck. So we go off the stage, and we're just like embarrassed, like, oh man, they juked us out. And then we go back out and start our set again in like a minute.
Fucking embarrassing.
Like, oh yeah, there's the fucking new guys. So
I have to manage the dog. Dog, I love you. Lay down, please. Lay down. No, lay down. Come on, lay down on me. Lay down right here. You can lay down right here, next to us.
she's like, okay.
Good girl. Good girl, Josie. She's good. She's a good girl. Just lay there, okay? And I got the cat over here. There's animals everywhere in this damn house.
It's all right, man. I love animals.
Yeah, me too. Keep me sane. I trust beasts more than I trust humans, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think humans are shitty.
This motherfucker ain't ever gonna lie to me.
We're the worst animals on the planet.
It's true. We're too smart for our own good, man.
Oh yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Like over here getting all fucking intellectual all the time. I mean, it's like this is just something I do all the time now, you know, but yeah, I don't know. So Woodshed plays White River, and then did you see any kind of like was it good publicity for you? Did you get a pop after that from other places or anybody or anything? Or or was it just just kind of fell on dead ears or
We definitely got a lot more people taking interest in us on Facebook and all that shit, but we haven't seen too much out of it as far as like playing more shows like that and whatnot.
Okay.
Is what it is. But
yeah, I don't know.
It was. I mean,
you never know. I mean,
I'm
only curious because, like I said, that's a big festival.
Oh, yeah.
And you would assume you get some kind of a pop out of that or something like that. But
we definitely got a little bit of a buzz out of it. Hopefully, we can get on some more shit like that.
I guess people are, a lot of people who watch this and listen to it, probably musicians to some extent as well. It's always interesting to hear someone, especially who's in your local scene.
It was
once they start to get a little window of opportunity, you're always kind of wondering, is that like something that's gonna like propel me? But I found and just recently, I stopped advertising for this podcast, and I did a little bit. I didn't do that much, but it was actually more people reacted badly to it. Like they're like, I don't want to be fucking advertised to, and I'm just like, oh, okay, shit, I didn't know, chill out, but people just kind of want things they want to feel like it's more organic, and they don't want to feel like you made the choice for them. They wanted to feel like it was a choice they made to listen to your thing,
right?
Even if they didn't. They want to have that, and I understand that too. Like when you find a band and you show it to your friends. I don't know if there's a better feeling on earth,
right?
Being like, oh, you haven't heard of this? Well, dude, check this out. You're gonna love it.
And if they're into it, you're like,
yeah, that's like, wow, I did a cool thing. I showed someone something cool because when that was done for you, it was a really important part of your life, and so we all look upon that opportunity to show each other something that maybe is going to be a life-changing, even a little bit, to that person. You feel like you've done something that was better than you could have handed them $500 and it wouldn't have been as cool as showing them a new fucking band,
right?
So but it's just it's a weird experience being a human.
I'd be pretty stoked if somebody handed me $500.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to compare it to something like tangible, but so
no, it was really cool. It was really it was a culture shock. It was different than anything we've ever done. Hopefully we get a chance to do that again.
Yeah, man.
It was wild. Like, just everything's so massive scale compared to what we're used to. It's like,
I know there's another band that's from around here that I think they're on Metal Shop. Well, at least one of them is Ryan the Beard.
Pound, yeah.
Yeah, Pound. Oh my God.
They were up after us. Yeah.
Oh my God. So did you well, we're going to talk about this in a second, but they're two people. Did you get to stand on the side of the stage and watch that going down? Or because I've seen them on smaller stages. Everyone around here kind of has.
You're kind of standing backstage when you're back there on if you're on the side. you can't hear everything like if you're out front.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of weird. Like, oh, it sounds a little different. But yeah, they're kick-ass, man.
They're a crazy band.
They're
They are crazy. Like the whole premise of that band, and then the fucking song names are like X dot hyphen X X hyphen X. Yeah, I'm like, God damn.
They're doing something different.
Right, exactly, but and then it's just wild. It's way out there.
Yeah.
You know, go check out Pound for absolutely sure. If you want to have a wild experience today, it's something else to listen
heavy
to.
shit.
That's some really cool YouTube videos too that I think are interesting to also watch. So go check out Pound. I couldn't tell you the name of a song because fucking who knows, X hyphen dot X or whatever. But so backstage you got to meet Pepper Keenan, is that correct?
Yes.
How I mean, did that come along with it? Did you expect that was going to happen, or did you just like in passing did you meet him or something?
We have a friend that she works all those concerts.
All right.
And she does like the catering and all that stuff and making sure all the bands have their shit. We didn't really get a whole lot because we were one of the local bands.
Right.
Or whatever. But she went and found us a cooler and filled it with beer for us.
Nice.
And so I had this cooler, so drinking some Olies in there and shit. And we're hanging out in the back area, and Pepper was out there, and he's like, "Oh man, can I have one of those?" So then fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, you can.
So we shared some.
Yes, sir. Pepper Keenan, sir. Please take two.
Fucking A. So yeah, we sat and drank a beer with him. He was pretty cool. You could tell he was tired.
Yeah.
He was touring. They were pretty much all the bigger bands. They looked just wore out.
Oh, dude.
I bet they were, but like they just flew in from where was it? Indianapolis or something. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like flew in that day to play, which I don't even know. They must borrow gear or something.
I know that there's places that like especially rent out.
Probably just rent it all out. Yeah,
and then take it back the next day or whatever. I don't know. We were just talking about that last podcast. Was that like because Phil, he runs Chaotic Studios in Spokane. I just had him right before this yesterday. We did a phone interview, which was interesting. I'd never done a over the phone interview.
Oh wow!
Right, but it's not gonna have phone audio. Like he has a studio, so we like lined it up, and then he spoke into an SM7B where he was, and then like we had a like clap noise, and then he sent that to me, and I lined him up, and it came out really, really good. But cool. That's besides the point. So he knows a guy who's on a national touring act who lives in Spokane from Rings of Saturn, which is like a crazy technical death metal band. So they tour over, they go over the pond and go to UK, go to Australia, go to Japan and stuff like that. Because over there, technical death metal does way better than it does here. People are, I don't know what it is like, about the States, but
I feel like a lot of metal, rock, everything kind of does better over.
It really
overseas.
does. They're more connected to it for some reason, or I don't know exactly how that works. Now in Japan, you know that Marty Friedman's been there for like 25 years. You know, just because why wouldn't he? He's got a whole thing over there. But they were saying like everyone's doing things with laptops now. I don't know that is how everyone is operating, but essentially, like, why would you have an amp to tour with? Like, I would see having your amp sound for your album. And I could see having your amp sound, you know, for those purposes, recording it or whatever. But if you're just going to be going through a different PA every fucking day anyways, why wouldn't you just use a laptop and direct out into...
It's not fucking cool.
Because it's not cool, but that's what they all do. Like their pedals are all set up in there, and it's like a pedal board. It's like one unit. And you just have song after song after song on a selector, and it's the same thing.
I'd at least need like a little fucking amp to mic up through the PA or something.
So are you totally against like the whole Axe Effects era that we're in right now? And not just Axe Effects, I keep forgetting the name. Kemper's and Axe Effects were...
I ain't into it, man.
You know, I don't know, man. I've gotten in a lot of arguments with people about it because I got
nothing against it. People use whatever the hell they want. It's just not my thing.
Right. So what is it? What do you feel like though? I mean, do you feel like they're losing something by? I mean, because these emulations, and here's the argument I get: is the emulation is pretty fucking close.
Oh, they were pretty damn good.
And not only that, you're not going to blow a fuse. You're not going to blow a tube. You're not gonna overheat a transformer.
What are you talking about?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. But no, it's true though, because it's like there's something about that as the amp seasons, even though you're changing out all the parts like you would a car, it seasons in a different way than someone else's amp that is the same amp bought in the same year will season. And so you get essentially two unique sounds out of those two exact same amps because they were put together by, possibly different people in that factory. Or different amp builder, and then they were put together with components that came from a different run from a different place, and so on and so forth. So, it's I had a guy over here who was super interesting, and he got really spacey on me when we were having this like weird, like it was Bree's birthday, my girlfriend Bree, it was her birthday, and so we had all these people over here, and I was barbecuing, and this guy was like a computer guy, but he was also like a musician. And he was like blowing my mind with this stuff, like, oh, this mastering, because I master people's album. And there's something too when a human being masters your album, and then when there is software that will master something for you. And I can tell the difference. There's just something different.
It's not the same, man.
It uses algorithm to take in signal wave, like cycles, like 80 cycles in this, and it attaches whatever the human being who made that mastering software says, this is good, this is bad, this is what needs to be pronounced, this doesn't need to be pronounced. We need to take out 134 cycles because it's always hum, and that's true. And you need to take out 7K to some extent because it's the fucking sharp shitty noise. And every time you master something, you're trying to get it as loud as possible and still retaining its like beautiful musicality and stuff like that without losing that. You want it to be at volume, and you also, with mastering, you're also creating an effect of making it kind of seem like it has more energy than it might have, by kind of making it feel like it's falling off the fucking hinges with loudness. Even if it's at 1, it's still that mastering will give it that. So he was kind of blowing my mind with this whole like humans won't have to do anything anymore, and I can't even really recreate what he said, but it was like, we won't need that. And he's like, now you'll notice that computers are seasoning different than other ones, and that's how they'll be unique in that way, and humans won't be needed to make music anymore because the algorithms will take over, and blah 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 blah. And it was just like, it was making me scared. Like it was like I'm looking at that. I know, totally. And I was like, that's not what I want to hear.
No,
I didn't think that when I started talking to this guy that's where it was going to go.
I was
just trying to have a lighthearted conversation about the difference between Pro Tools and an SSL board, and then he got all fucking crazy on me. Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!" But it was way out there in terms of like, he's right in an extent. Like, why would someone pay a human to master their album if it could just be mastered for nothing by a robot? I mean, there's obvious. You want to connect with another human. Right. You like working with humans because you're a human. You don't want to work with a robot.
Yeah.
But I find that that's not true. People are starting to, for one, they're starting to make this whole, I am depressed, I have anxiety, and I have all these mental problems to be, I'm not saying that those aren't important to let everyone know that, you're not the only one out there. But they're saying that it's okay and it's totally something you can't do anything about. And I'm living proof that that's not true. I know that it's not true because I suffered it to the point where I was manic and stuff, man. And I've totally come out on the other side. And I'm not saying that someday I won't have some kind of emotional strife that brings me back into the darkness. But, there's always a fight in me, and I know I'm going to come out on the other side. Right. While you're in it, it does not seem that way.
Oh, no.
It's despair. But what I'm trying to say is, with the way things are set up with the death rectangle and Netflix and
everything's just...
you don't have to fucking go anywhere. You can order food from any restaurant and just sit in your house. And, you wonder why you're so fucking depressed. You aren't getting a light. You are made up of cells and stuff that requires that you go out into the fucking daylight, and that requires that you're around other living fucking beings.
Yeah.
Quite literally, in cultures before this modern culture we're in, the highest thing that, the biggest thing that could happen to you if you raped somebody, you did something fucking bad, is it would send you into solitude, never to come back and talk to your friends and family ever again.
Right.
Now, that's just what we do. We sit inside by ourselves.
Yeah, fuck that.
And
Human interaction
podcast
is
right
good, man.
here is sometimes the only real human interaction I get. Sometimes, if I'm really, really fucking busy,
Yeah.
aside from work and my immediate family who I love, but, have you picked up your phone? No. Have you looked at it? Did you check Facebook? I find that people who come in
right there. I usually just check the clock on my phone. So.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not using just you, but like people who come here and do this podcast, I find that for a couple hours, it's even good for them. They walk away like energized.
Yeah.
Because they didn't look at Facebook for 2 hours. They didn't
fucking Facebook.
Check their fucking stupid emails and, scroll through some crap they didn't need to see.
Yeah.
And they talked to another human being who was like-minded. And that's good for you.
That's good.
You walk away like, oh, I should do that more often. Yeah. What happened? We were doing this the whole time before, and then all of a sudden, society decided that you didn't want that. You wanted to sit inside your fucking house.
I think. Right. Yeah, the internet is. I don't think it's the best thing for us. To be honest,
I don't think humans are good with this. It's another addiction. You put anything that's good, that feels good for a moment in front of humans, and they'll take it to the fucking end of the earth. Sex, drugs, fucking food. Look at us. I mean, I'm no saint.
Oh, yeah.
I love cheeseburgers, bro.
Yeah, me too, man.
I need to stop it. But it's just every time I smell one, I start jiggling and I go down there and with extra cheese, please. But it's tough. But, it's a weird world we live in, man. I don't know.
It's wild, man. Especially because we saw it different when we were growing up. I feel weird for all the kids that are grown up in this. Like, damn, you guys don't know what it's like to just go fucking ride your bike to your buddy's house and see if he's home.
Right. You see all the bikes outside someone's house and be like, that's where everyone is.
Right. Or, oh, fuck, he's not home. I guess I'm just going to go ride my bike around,
Yeah, or you call someone's phone, and I know that this sounds...
House phone? Yeah.
You call someone's phone and they wouldn't answer, you wouldn't be like, oh, that fucking person's avoiding me. You'd be like, he's not at home.
You're right.
There was no cell phones.
Right.
You just, you leave a message.
They were huge.
Or you tell somebody like, hey, I'm going to call you later, and they would go back to their house so you could call them. Or something like that, or you had to meet up in fucking person.
Yeah, let's meet here at this time.
It's so funny because I was just at a show. Well, not just at a show, maybe a few years back, but I was at a show, and in the past, when we didn't have cell phones, we'd go to a show and be like, all right, if everyone gets lost and the show is over, we're all going to meet right here.
Yeah.
Because, I had no way to contact anybody.
Right.
And we try to stay close to each other, but you never know, dude. You're drinking and whatever fucking happens, and you're doing drugs, and, don't do drugs, kids, but
Don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad, but you're doing all this bad stuff. And so who knows, man? You get lost and you need to meet up. So at the end of the show, you meet up if you don't run across each other before that. And these are festivals, So what ended up happening was, we've never had, in years, since we had cell phones going on, we didn't have to do any of that. And so my cell phone completely fucking died. I had no way to charge it, and I was drunk. And, I think also that happened to the person I was with. So neither of us had cell phones.
Yeah.
And
it's always good to have a meeting point.
Holy crap. Did I think at that point, like, oh no. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? And so it was like completely like my phone was, it being gone fucked my whole experience up, because the whole time I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this.
It's a shame that we're there as a society,
right? And then I also felt like, well, I can't share this on Facebook, and I can't share my little experience. And I thought, like, what a piece of shit I am for even fucking thinking these things. Like, I should just be enjoying it with my eyes in my brain and like experiencing this. But part of the experience is like telling everyone I'm there.
Right.
It's just as bad as taking a picture of your fucking food you're about to eat.
Well, it's like when you go to a concert, you see everybody up there fucking recording the concert with your phone. Like, are you gonna fucking watch that later? It's probably just gonna sound like shit anyway.
It's like,
just watch the fucking show.
Right.
Enjoy it. Memories.
Right. Yeah, and I'm the biggest like proponent for that, but I get caught up in it myself.
Maybe like you go to see your buddy's local band, you're trying to boost them. Maybe you post a little video.
I don't know. So I just went and saw the Misfits, and that's never gonna happen ever again. Ever.
Oh, yeah?
You're never gonna see Glenn Danzig with.
I know. I feel like I should.
Oh, you didn't go.
I didn't
you
go.
Fucked up.
Fucked up, dude.
It was amazing.
Damn.
It was amazing. Danzig was fucking amazing. Jerry Only was amazing. Dude, Doyle was amazing. I'm telling you, they were amazing. And I'd never seen them live before. I've only seen videos, and I used to listen to the Misfits like crazy when I was a kid. I knew every word to every fucking song ever fucking made. And so it's been years since I'd listened to any of those songs. And I went there, they played every song I wanted to hear. And I had this realization of like, you know, because when you're a kid, you're like, I kind of didn't understand it at first. Like, why are the Misfits as big as they are? I couldn't really wrap my head around it because the recordings were terrible. And when I started listening to them, they were pretty much already dead. You know, there was Danzig, and there was this thing that was the Misfits, but it was like the Famous Monsters era where Michael Graves was the singer, and it was weird, and it was still good, but it wasn't like what the Misfits that was like the cult of Misfits. And when I saw them on live as a musician, I was like, you could just feel this fucking like immense thing coming off of the stage. And everyone could feel it. As soon as they walked out there, it was like, these people are larger than fucking life. This is why they're huge, because of this. This is a big part of it. And you know, there was no barrier. Dude.
Oh, fuck.
Danzig was out there like in the crowd. He was going past the front of the house, and his microphone was squealing and stuff. You know, I was looking, I was like, wee! And he's down there just like slapping hands and singing in people's faces, and Doyle's out there smashing his guitar, and you know, Jerry Only's out there, you know, right there with the crowd. They're right there. And
cool.
Dude, I know, and
nobody plays without the fucking barrier.
That's what I'm saying. So it was amazing, and I was just blown away at the show that was put on, and the banter in between was great, and it was just amazing. And I have a whole new like attachment to the Misfits now. Like, I'll probably be like a pit bull if someone talks shit at this point, just because I'm like, fuck that, those guys rule. They are the kings, and that's why they are so popular, because the stage show was amazing. And I think people forget that is fucking like a huge part of who you are as a rock musician. You know, that connection is important.
Yeah, man.
I had to take videos. What I'm saying, I had to.
Yeah.
I took a couple videos, and I just had to be like,
yourself,
right. I took them back to my house, and I have them, you know, now they're mine. Like, but Jesus Christ, man, because no one's ever going to believe me. The Danzig's out there just fucking, you know, going for it, dude. Shit, he probably felt like terrible after that. But, you know, he was in the moment.
How old is he now?
They got to be in their 60s, dude.
Dude, that's crazy.
Absolutely. They have to be. Because 76, you know, or 70, let's see, probably 78, 79, 80. Walk Among Us was 79. 78. Yep. Walk Among Us was 78. And dude, oh shit. Dude, all the hits were probably made within like 10 years. So it was probably like until like 84. And then Danzig left, and he did Sam Hain or Saw Wayne or how you fucking say that. And he did Danzig, and there was Danzig 1, 2, and 3, and there was Mother. Yeah. And those songs, and he had his own career going on, you know.
I went and saw Danzig at the Showbox one time.
Loose a Forge.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, actually, because they were jamming out. I can't remember what song it was now. It was so long ago. But this girl flashes her tits to him, and they all stopped. They stopped mid-song. He was like, thank you. And then they started the song over. It was great.
Oh, man.
They were pretty nice, so.
Wow, I
don't blame him.
That is wonderful. That is hilarious. Yeah, good old Danzig, man. He was making jokes on stage, and it was a good time. I don't regret the money that was spent. It was like $200 and some, but damn, whatever, man, I'd pay it again. They were amazing.
I've spent some money to go to some shows. A couple summers back, so when we went to Aftershock, or I guess that wasn't even the summer. That was in like October. Before that, we had just seen Black Sabbath at the Tacoma Dome, like the year before. And I was like, fuck, I want to see them the last time. And they were playing down in San Bernardino. Right. It was Ozfest meets Knotfest. And so me and Jake and our girlfriends went down there, and my girlfriend's brother lives in LA. So we met him in LA. We drove down to San Bernardino, which is a shithole, by the way. I don't really like California.
I don't like California that much either.
But
PNW for life.
We get to this fucking festival, man. It was the biggest festival I've ever been to. It was like heavy metal Woodstock or something. It was nuts. There were so many fucking people, and everybody was wearing camo shorts and black shirts. You could do anything you wanted and get away with it.
Wow.
Because you could just run into the crowd and be like, it was that guy with the camo shorts and the black t-shirt on.
He's got a beard.
Yeah, fucking
Everybody.
Everybody. But we just had a blast. We got rowdy as shit. There was garbage tornadoes. But people were like starting garbage fires up in the grass area.
What?
Yeah, they'd go fucking grab a garbage can and start fucking making little bullshit bonfire. People are wild down there.
That's crazy.
But that was a fucking killer show, man. Megadeth and fucking Black Sabbath and Slayer and Slipknot, and it was pretty cool. Awesome. I had a good damn time.
Did you see Metallica when they came around?
Yes.
Did you? I did not. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I have never been to a Metallica show.
I didn't either.
It was really cool.
The funny thing is, I was supposed to go. So EMP opened in like 1999, and all my buddies went, and I didn't go. And Metallica had played there, and like right before him, Snoop Dogg played. So if you saw Metallica, you also saw Snoop Dogg. Super, and so EMP opened in Seattle at like size like 1999, summer of 1999, and these tickets, and there was like Linkin Park. Linkin Park. I'm probably gonna miss a couple. Limp Bizkit, Metallica, Snoop Dogg, Ludacris.
What a weird fucking lineup,
dude. It was like, now I think it's called Mopop.
Oh yeah.
But at that time, it was the Experience Music Project, which was like modeled around
the EMP.
The EMP. It's still the big weird looking building there in Seattle. But yeah, so I was supposed to go to that, and I never went to it. And then I don't know why, but I never had a desire to go after that. I just whatever was going on with Metallica at that time, because they were playing like Load, a lot of the songs off Load.
Oh yeah.
And Saint Anger came out after that, and I was just like, man, this is not what I.
So yeah, when I saw them, they played all their older hits.
They are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time they were.
And then their new album, because their new album had just came out.
Right.
It was pretty cool. I'd never seen them before, so it was pretty.
So you heard that James Hetfield went back to detox,
that's
not detox, rehab.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising.
Right, because I thought he was still sober. So I'm wondering, like, what is he doing? Because I know he wasn't drinking. Was it pills? Was it?
I have no idea.
Or was it drinking?
Maybe he started drinking again.
I don't know, man, because I know that was a huge problem for him. Like, it was like going to end his fucking life.
Well, I would imagine if he would have relapsed, it would be that.
It'd be 20 years, 18 years since he quit drinking. Because I know in 2001.
I'm having a beer.
I don't know, man. No, and I quit drinking about almost a year and a half ago now. But it was for very, kind of personal, emotional reasons. Mm-hmm. And, like my life would have kept going on, and I don't know, whatever. But I don't know, I felt very compelled that it was causing me emotional problems that I could have just totally stepped around by not drinking alcohol. And it's a fucking...
Hey, man, I don't dog anybody for quitting drinking.
It never stopped me from making brutal ass music.
No, that's good.
And then I found out Corey Taylor hasn't drank in like 15 years. Fucking Jamie Jostel from Hatebreed hasn't drank in 50 years. We all knew that James hadn't drank. Because I always associated as soon as you stop drinking, gonna make shitty music. So that was actually a huge thing that was in my head, like buried in there, because everyone
make shitty music.
Well, they associated Saint Anger with James's stopping drinking, but no one knows that when Subliminal Verses made by Slipknot, that's when Corey quit drinking, and they didn't know that with like Supremacy.
That album's fucking great.
It is, and they didn't know Supremacy by Hatebreed was when Jamie stopped drinking. Those are the ones that are in my mind, but I never thought those were weak at all. Those were like actually huge fucking, like I was like, wow, they're really turning into like a bigger thing. Each one of those people even took it a bit bigger, and I don't know, the lyrics, especially for Slipknot, got, if anything, darker, weirder, more introspective,
I think it's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think back to when I was younger, and I at first had an approach. I drank a little bit when I shouldn't have been, because I was a teenager. but I didn't smoke weed or nothing like that. I was like, no, I don't want to do any of that. And my creativity was fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
Granted, I was younger too, but now I'm older, and yeah, sometimes I think maybe it hinders it a little bit.
I don't know, and everyone's totally different, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like if you can manage to continue to be positive and creative, and you're truthfully happy,
Right.
and you're drinking, then you're not me. You know,
Right.
because
Yeah, exactly.
that's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm this like the 100% mold that everyone's made out of, because I actually had a lot of fucking really fond memories of drinking, and I had lots of fun, dude, tons of great memories, you know, and I'd say most of them. It wasn't until like right at the end that I was like, man, I'm using this as medicine at this. But then that's kind of what happened is I was going through some emotional problems, and instead of dealing with them, I copped out by drinking, and I noticed that
The
that's
reason I don't drink whiskey anymore.
well, shit, you know, and then things got dark really fucking quick, and I was not dealing with my issues, and then they all stacked up, and then I went into some really gnarly depression, like something I'd never felt before in my life, and it was because I was avoiding all of my problems and not dealing with them, you know, as they were arising. You know, and before I drank, and I didn't have any problem doing that, but since I stopped drinking, you know, I am afraid to ever go back at this point, because if I ever had to go back to that place again, I don't know that I have another. I don't have another one of those
to
in
pull
me.
yourself out.
I don't know that. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I'm like, shit. Maybe it's because I got older, but I don't think that I got that many more of those in me. And if I knowingly brought myself back to that place, I would feel even more stupid than I'd ever been before, knowing that I'd already went there once. I'd be like, okay,
Fuck, here I am again.
smoking a little bit of weed or something like that. I mean, I will never say that I'm like completely sober, because, you know, yeah, I mean, I have used marijuana.
Everybody likes to party once in a while.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, it was around, and I mean, it didn't do what alcohol did to me. I
Right.
can tell you that. Like, I didn't like smoke some weed and then immediately the next day, like, oh, I feel like shit. I need to drink again, just a little bit. Just,
I've always been a pretty happy drunk, but I've been in bad times in my life where I was just depressed anyway.
right.
And I used drinking to kind of forget about it, but it didn't work the best. Like I said, I don't drink whiskey anymore for that reason. I get all fucking angry and crazy. So I know what you mean.
It's tough, man. I mean, that when I saw that James had possibly slipped up, he was him and those people I listed off.
You got the tattoo straight
Well,
up.
that's what I'm saying. Is like, you know, I mean, those people, those very visible people that I looked up to as a musician, you know, those were actually big reasons, and him and Zach Wilde too were like huge inspirations to me when I had started to quit drinking, because I thought, you know, okay, how am I going to go through my whole life without drinking? Because I made it like a huge portion of my life. You know, watching them can successfully go through their lives that are way more fucking gnarly and stressful than mine,
Right.
and can continue to create and keep their composure, and, you know, fend off all these people who are like, have a drink,
Yeah.
fuck you, you know. Like, I'm like, well, if they can fucking do it, I could do it. And I love that about that. And so seeing him kind of obviously go back into the darkness or whatever happened, you know, and maybe he only slipped up and he's afraid, you know.
And that could be it.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out in the weeks and months to come. But man, I really fucking hope that everything is okay. And, you know, I send my fucking energy out to him, because fucking yeah, I mean, I think that shit's real. I think, you know, people say thoughts and prayers. I do believe there is like a binding energy to the universe and us, that, you know, we can feel each other when we're in pain and stuff. I don't think that that's fake, you know, but who knows, man. Hopefully, you know, he gets better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what does Woodshed have on the horizon you would like everyone to know about?
All right. So, I mean, recently we took a little bit of a break. Like I said, house searching, all that bullshit.
Human stuff.
It's stressful. So I was like, oh man, I gotta take a moment here and get this stuff figured out, because this next place I move is going to be where new band room is and stuff like that.
Nice.
Hopefully. But I've been kind of working on, and we've been working on a concept album for the next one. And so I've been kind of refining some of those ideas at home and whatnot. And I'm really excited to start kind of working on that. I want to go do some demos here soon and get on board with, because some of the songs are going to be on the next album. We've been playing for a long time.
Okay.
We didn't want to put them on this last album because we didn't feel like they fit. Like I said, I want this kind of this concept album thing that these songs fit together. So I wanted to save them for that, which is kind of weird. So we actually wrote new songs for this last album to fill it out. And then some of these older songs are going to be on the next one, which is kind of backwards, but is what it is. But I'm really excited to start doing that. Some heavier stuff, some kind of trippy, get far out with it, and kind of a whole package deal. Follow the art with it.
Right, where are you recording at?
We're on a small label. It's called Strange Earth Records, and they have their own studio down in Seattle.
Nice.
It's pretty awesome place. So we get to go and record in there.
Strange Earth.
Strange Earth.
Shout out to Strange Earth Records.
Yep. It's actually Van Connor from the Screaming Trees in Vallis.
He's from Stan Hood, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he lives out on Woodby Island somewhere now, and then Matt Vandenberg, I think that's his last name, but from Vallis, and they kind of went in on this thing, and the studio's rad. It's just awesome.
Cool.
Working down there. I don't know if do you know Justin Davis?
No.
Oh, okay. He's a kick-ass engineer. He worked on our last album with us.
Yeah, that shit sounds great.
Yeah, and he mixed our one before that too. And I just love working with him. He knows he knows how to make shit happen that I want to do. So that's pretty fun. I'm excited to take a little time, kind of refine some things, and come out full bore and make another record.
No shows on the horizon though.
We have one at the end of October. We're playing at Daryl's Tavern.
Oh, Daryl's Tavern. Where's that?
Shoreline.
Okay. Oh shit. Yeah, I know where Daryl's Tavern is.
Daryl's.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's that.
It's gonna be fun.
Check out Woodshed's
Hear
Facebook.
the dog in the microphone.
I know, dude. You know, it's funny as I got her from the shelter. I want to say a month or two ago, and she is just the sweetest dog, and she cannot not be around me. It is.
They are, man.
I love her so much. I feel like I wish I would have got her sooner.
I got two little ones. I got a mini Australian Shepherd and a mini healer.
But yeah, our personalities go together well. You can tell she's really laid back.
Yeah,
You know, and
mine are not.
she is. You can tell she's kind of a barker if she doesn't know you. But you know, she is such a chill sweetheart, and
Chill right now.
she is. She's just a lover, and she cannot stand to not be around me. Like if I'm always here at this desk, I'm always working on mixes, I'm always working on stuff, always editing, and she's always sitting right here, and I can always hear that snore. Or all of a sudden I'll feel breath on me, and she's like, start getting all. But she's just a great dog, and I love having her around.
I love dogs.
Oh yeah, she's great.
We'll
end on that. We love dogs.
We love dogs.
Thank you for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, man.
We'll have to do it again. I'll be gone for a couple months, but yeah, we'll check it out after you get your album out. We'll have to push it on the podcast.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little bit before we really get into that, but
See what happens.
we'll see what happens.
Cool, man. All right, later.
Maybe we can get the other guys in here.
Maybe you should get the whole fucking band. Bring them all in.
Yeah.
All right. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you for continuing to listen. I have a song from Woodshed. It is called Between the Dreams. It is the first track on their album. I'll see you guys in a couple months.
As I pour